All right, everyone, welcome in. This is the weekly intuitive reading. So we're going to tap in to the week starting May 11th through the 17th and just get some high level guidance information that can help you as you move into the week, give you some perspective, help you, again, proactively approach the week in a way that you can respond instead of react, right? Or understand what energies are happening so you don't get pulled into anything, and also how can you best use the energies to your advantage. So we have a good week here because this week we do have a full moon in Taurus on the 16th, so on Saturday. So I'm going to be pulling a couple cards for that new moon. And as you know, new moons are good for manifesting what do you want to bring in the energy. So it's kind of aligning with those things, setting your intentions out. So we have that. We are still kind of, I just want to bring up, because a lot of people have been asking about it. There's a lot of emotional energy going on that's kind of still kind of the wear off of that Scorpio full moon that we had earlier in the month. Okay, so that emotional integration process is still kind of happening, but it's waning. So I want to bring that up because a lot of people have been like, what's going on? Like things are hitting the fan. But this, again, that was a huge opportunity for us to bring up our emotions to anything we've been holding back, things from the past that we haven't faced, any resentments, fears. There was a lot of revelations, endings, emotional truths, things that surfaced are still unfolding. But it's kind of, again, softening, right? We're kind of tapering off from that energy, but that's still happening. So definitely continue to reflect on what has been coming up for you, anything that's happened in relationship dynamics. It's a good opportunity for integration and being more conscious about our emotions, our feelings, and actually like validating our feelings, right? And honoring the truth to them and saying, putting up boundaries, changing things, saying, no, I'm not engaging in that way anymore, and being more conscious about how you're approaching life. So that's still happening. The week is going to open up to a very positive, optimistic energy, which is the Sun sextile Jupiter on the 11th. So that actually happened. Let me just make sure I understand my days here. So it's actually, the Sun sextile Jupiter is the 10th. So that was actually Sunday, which is the day I'm posting this. But that brings about some good optimistic energy on Mother's Day, which is perfect timing. So then actually the 12th, Mercury sextiles Jupiter. So it goes from sextiling Jupiter and then Mercury. And that is very supportive of like wisdom, expansion, meaningful conversations, clarity, shining the light on kind of, again, information, shining the light on just certain aspects of our life, communicating better, like just what I said. You're starting to make more sense of the murkiness and maybe the confusion of the Scorpio full moon, which was we dove deep into the emotions. And then we have the Sun conjunct Mercury on the 14th, which is also good for mental clarity and sharpens our awareness. We'll have important realizations, good conversations, mental breakthroughs, truths coming through more. A lot of truth this week. We're gaining the clarity and truth as the month kind of goes on. And then we have that Taurus new moon. But the emotional intensity is going to kind of build up around a midweek here. We have Neptune, Saturn, and Mars between the 13th and 14th. Or the moon aligns with Neptune, Saturn, and Mars. So there's going to be some heightened emotional sensitivity, which is also going to be good for kind of shining the light on anywhere where we still are living in fear, anywhere we're frustrated, things we're frustrated with due, again, to dynamics, right? Or things that aren't working for us. And anything that hasn't been resolved that's still lingering, that again is going to just kind of like those last bits are going to come up. We also are going to have Jupiter. Let's see, when is that? The moon is going to have some challenging aspects with Jupiter and Pluto later in the week. So that's going to also, but with Pluto, that's going to bring about change, right? So, and we're going to have greater self-awareness. We're going to be stronger with our decisions and our boundaries. But the Taurus new moon is great on the weekend because it's helping us to start a new chapter with something. And this is going to revolve around with that Taurus energy, finances, self-worth, stability, relationships, security, kind of, and kind of like how we want to engage with the physical world. And then lastly, at the end of the week, we have Mercury moving into Gemini. So this is going to really be a great energy because Mercury is the ruler of Gemini. So this is going to really push the energy forward. So we're going to see movement on things, more communication, mental clarity. Again, a lot of mental clarity coming up this week, but there's going to be good ideas coming to you, good social energy, wanting to explore different things, kind of get out there and learn new things. So that's a positive energy when Mercury and Gemini are together. All right, let's go ahead and dive into the reading here. And again, thank you all for joining. If you're new, welcome in. This channel is me. It's kind of a hodgepodge, but you know what? I tap in and just get the guidance about what I'm supposed to be talking about or putting out. So mostly, like, really the base of the channel is around my readings. They are intuitive tarot readings. I also get intuitive messages as I'm doing the readings, but also I also am a channeler. I connect with higher dimensions. So if you see, I also have a mix of channeled messages. And that has really ramped up in 2026 because it is a time that the information needs to get to the collective more than it ever has. And if you've probably seen, if you're watching this channel, you're probably watching other channels and are into the whole metaphysical, spiritual information. But like we are literally at the moment of change, at the shift here. Once 2026 happened, and the information from higher dimensions is coming down because we're working together more and more. And so I'm getting those messages out when they need to come for all of you to hear. And those messages as well have help you to, there's energy frequencies within it and coding that help you expand, help your DNA start activating, helping you to activate your gifts and connecting more and getting information, and also helping you in your personal life because it's through our own personal growth and changes that we're actually changing the collective. So that is where all of us can make a huge difference in the world, is by just doing our own growth and expansion and making those big leaps. Okay, so I'm going to pull some base cards, and I'm going to pull a couple oracle here I felt guided to. So I'm going to start with the These are the Whispers of Aloha Oracle. So I have your body talks to you. Listen to the story your physical self is sharing. This is a huge thing that has been coming up, especially like the last, I would say since March. But also our physical vessels are shifting. Okay, so our frequency has to change first, right? And then our physical vessel kind of catches up. As we're doing all this integration work as well, what else is going to be impacted is our physical body. So as you've heard the saying, our body keeps the score. So our body also is going to start having symptoms of the mirror of what's going on internally. So a lot of physical things have been coming up for people, illnesses, colds, especially congestion has been a big one. And that, from what I'm getting from all sorts of channels, is a lot to do with the solar flares. So we may be seeing symptoms and feeling like, oh, something's wrong with us, right? Or our symptoms are coming back. And this is us, our body talking to us. So we really need to listen to the body and tune in and talk to your body. See what it says. What does it need from you? What does it want? It's asking us to do the shifts and changes as well, and telling us what the body needs as we are, right, the reality shifting here. Re-energize, invite freshness into your life. So we need to, this freshness to me means new, right? So we need to start approaching life with new eyes, with new perspective, doing things differently. And this can be how we can start with that. If you're like, where do I even begin? Literally every single day, do something differently than you normally would do. Change your routine up. The one thing we need to do to hop on the highest timeline here is we got to get out of the old. And if you're stuck in these routines that, if you're one of those people that like literally from the time you wake to the time you go to bed, it's always the same routines day in and day out, and you get anxious or you can't handle not being in that routine, we need to start shifting that energy. And the more you do things differently, the more you're going to adjust. And that's where we start changing. Because if we want to jump on different timelines that are different, that involve change, we have to be receptive to it, right? And we have to get out of the stuck program 3D, because that is really a program that we've been, that our body takes on to cope. And those routines help people feel safe, secure, stable. But again, it's a false sense. It's like, well, if I do this thing, because it is really stemmed from fear, right? All right, let's see here. These are the Starseed Oracle. So we have Messenger, Sirius energy bringing harmony and balance. There's a lot of messages coming in right now. I'm getting a ton. So be open. If you feel like something's coming in, tune in, but you're definitely going to be getting a lot. It can come through like telepathically, just, you know, higher awareness, but it also can come in through like this, through this reading, through a message you hear on YouTube, through a book that you come across, something that, you know, someone randomly says to you. But there's a bunch of strong energy that's blasting the planet, and it's helping us to come back and integrate and come back into harmony. So within, so without. Earth School, life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. Yes. Uranus now in Gemini, or sorry, that's, yeah, Uranus and Gemini, right? And especially this week, we have Mercury going into Gemini. So this definitely is about information, learning, wisdom, lessons coming in, or getting just a higher perspective of really what's going on. This is also the aftermath, like I said, of that Scorpio new moon, of finally putting all the pieces together and learning the lesson. And then I'm going to just pull a couple of the Moonology cards for the Taurus new moon. Have faith in your dreams. A fiery climax approaches. So that is in line with the new moon. So have faith in your dreams. What is it that you want to bring in? But there is a climax here. We have Mars moving out of Aries next week. So I think as the week closes out, this is where that fiery climax approaches as Mars moves out of Aries into Taurus. And it's kind of that last kind of flare of that fire energy coming in. But I kind of feel excited about this card. I feel an excitement about this fire energy. So there is something that's reaching kind of that's kind of last ditch effort here. A climax has to happen for us to resolve, to come down. Okay, let's move to the tarot and get more details on anything for the week. Again, this is collective reading, right? So take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Four of Pentacles here. So this is, again, holding on. This is really a theme around where have we built our sense of stability? And do we define our stability by our bank account? Do we define our stability by the job we have, by the title we hold, by the size of our house, by the image, right? And all of that is physical. All of that is physical. So we've defined our inner sense of stability based on external factors. And that is what we need to we need to work through those false beliefs, those false truths, and redefine our neural network of what our truth is as far as stability. We have to create inner stability, like inner energetic stability. We have to reprogram our mind, our heart, our nervous system, and get it out of the external into the internal, because that is the ultimate sense of stability. Because this physical world, there's nothing stable about it. There's not. And we have to, and once we really understand that truth, we don't look to the external world to be our stability, to be our comfort, to be our sense of self. And that's where we become this being. That's where we learn and become aware of our true power, right? And that's where we actually create the strongest sense of stability, because it only starts inward. And the external world is just a reflection. So if we don't truly feel stable internally, the world is going to constantly show us and like affirm that we're not safe. Five of Pentacles, yes, money, physical things. So we have been in this place of we don't feel safe. We don't feel fulfilled. We don't feel there is enough of something. And the star, this is healing this. So that moon energy this week and the sun are both shining a light on the dark aspects and helping us bring them to light, to integrate them, to heal this, to shift out of this. Because I feel like this is the energy we've been in. But I do like the 4 to the 5. At least there's progression here. We're progressing in this kind of piece of our lives, this kind of lesson that we had to learn. More Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles. This also has to work with defining what work is and what work means to us, right? Like society or families, the external world has defined work as something we have to do to create stability. And there's a lot of fear around this. There's a lot of fear around this, where really what we put out in the world is our work. right? It's our expression of self. And we are redefining that as well. That actually work is just what I just said. It's what we put out into the world. It's our creations. It's how we interact with the world that then mirrors back its value. And it's about finding the value in just being our authentic selves and realizing that I like this deck, this picture, because this is about she's growth in the sense of we're constantly creating something, right? Like the picture is about creating life. But that's the same metaphor for everything in life. Everything we do is a creation. We're building stuff, we're growing things for it to be birthed into the world and it to express who we are and express our worth and our value and our love. Ace of Pentacles. Wow, look at all these pentacles. So this week is an opportunity, okay? Major opportunity. And are we going to take it? And this is where the physical world starts really, this is like the manifestation coming to life. Once we start shifting, our physical life starts changing to a positive. But it starts with the healing and the change of inner perspective. So there is a door that's opening for you this week. It could be tied to work or an opportunity to, like I said, to express, to put something out into the world. Something you've created. Tower. It's going to come in very suddenly, out of nowhere. You weren't expecting this. You weren't expecting this, but this is going to bring in something really amazing that you've wanted with the star energy here. 10 of Cups. Wow. Okay, so this is going to be a very, very good week. A lot of potential, a lot of opportunity this week. So let's take advantage of it. The only way you're going to take advantage of it is doing something different. Changing how you view something. And when you shift your viewpoint and shift your belief, you start shifting how you respond to the world. So maybe, for example, you create something, you create stuff, or there's a business idea you have, or you actually create physical things, and you're like, oh, your belief is like, oh, well, I could never make enough money or just do this and have, be supported, right? That's a belief system. That is not true, okay? Because there's millions of people in the world who do it every day. They take a risk. They believe in their gifts. There's something they're passionate about, and they create and they put it in the world, and it works for them. And what's the difference between someone that it works out and someone it doesn't? It's about the inner belief. So this is about taking that risk, believing in yourself, and following your passion, following your greatest joy. So if something is, you love it, this is finding the things that we love to do, that it doesn't seem like work. We're passionate about it. It almost comes natural to us. These are our things, our natural gifts, our natural things that we love to do. And this is what the new work paradigm is moving into. And the thing is, like, everyone's different. So, not everyone's passion is going to be spiritual based, right? Not everyone's passion is going to be, doing energy work or doing spiritual healing work. Where some people's passion is around, let's say, helping the homeless or helping rehabilitate animals. Some people's passion is going to be like building furniture or building houses or making a product that they're passionate about and putting it out there and selling it. It's going to be different for everybody. The Hanged Man, changing our perspective, and the Hierophant, committing. We're really committing to this new way of thinking, this new way of believing. We're not just like dabbling and saying, oh, I'll put my toe in. This is about, no, I'm doing these things I love. I'm creating these things and I'm putting them out there. I'm not going to be afraid anymore. I realize that my support, my stability, and my abundance is not 100% reliant on a normal 9 to 5 job or the career I'm in. Abundance is energy, and abundance comes in a million different ways. It doesn't always have to mean money. Abundance is an opportunity to get seen by people or clients. And then all of a sudden, abundance is all these people wanting your time, your skill set, your product, your art, right? So that's abundance. And that, yes, does lead to money coming in so that you can maybe move your career or something like that. But there's definitely something about commitment here with the Hierophant and getting out of blowing up the traditional old ways of thinking and the old perspective and the old definitions of money and wealth and abundance and what work means. I love this. I really do love this. I think this is a pretty straightforward reading here. I'm just going to get one for the Tower and see how this blows in. The Tower is getting you unstuck. It's cutting off the blindfold. So here's the clarity that's coming in with all the astrology aspects this week. There's a lot of clarity coming in this week. That's shifting your perspective, where you're like, oh, okay, now I'm starting to really kind of absorb this truth and absorb what I need to do and how I need to do it. Let's see what this, because the climax is this Tower, I believe. I'm just going to get one more here for the fiery climax. Justice. Yeah, this is a karmic that, this is us shifting our karma. So instead of life always being these karmic loops, these karmic challenges, lessons, right? It's creating more balance in our life where things aren't as up and down. There's not as much challenge to our life or us like trying things and hitting a brick wall, right? Things not working out. Us attracting karmic people in our life too. This is about now we're shifting the energy. And we're going to start attracting, magnetizing people in our lives that are more in line with our new energy. So these could be people that are going to collaborate with you. These are people attracting, like I said, clients or attracting buyers or people that are really interested in what you have to offer. Okay. And that's sometimes the biggest fear is like, we fear that, oh, people aren't going to want what we have to offer. People aren't going to like us. They're not going to like our, our creations. Or, hey, there's a lot of people who do this. So the market's already too saturated, so I'm never going to succeed in that. Those are all beliefs because there's always someone new that comes in. And even though it's the same type of maybe something that everyone else does, that's the key here. You have to do it authentically. Okay? So do it your way. Don't ever do something with the why, your why, right? When we think of Simon Sinek, what is your why? Your why should be something that is specifically authentic to you. I do this because I do it this way. I do art this way because this is what I love to do. This is what I'm attracted to. This is how I like it. This is what resonates with me. And you're going to have then people who pick up on that. That's the highest attractive energy is authenticity, right? People, you should never approach it thinking always, well, what do people want from me? Okay, even my readings, even my channel. I've gotten a lot of different feedback. And of course, people are telling me how they want things. And, I definitely take some and I leave some, right? The thing is, if it goes against what I like and what really I'm passionate about, I'm not going to do it. And there's some things that still allows me to be me and be creative where it's like, oh no, I could adjust. Or even like if someone wants, hey, I'm recommending a reading, like I want more, readings on like specific love or career. I'm definitely open to that. but like, I like being in the moment. I like to create an atmosphere where it's almost like I'm having a reading one-on-one with you. I don't like being too formal. I don't want this to look so staged. I want it to just feel like I'm just doing this. It's very low key. It's very like laid back here. And that's how I am. And that's the type of videos I resonate with. I love people who are just themselves, who are authentic. You know, things mess up. They have their animal jump on the table, or, you know, they talk about random their personal stuff. Like, I like that because I like connecting to people from that true authentic place. I don't like to just feel like I'm watching an actor, right? Or someone that's just putting on a show that's trying to look perfect. But I'm going off on this tangent, and obviously there's a reason there, but yeah, this is an exciting reading. I love this reading. This is going to be an exciting week, and I was kind of feeling that from this Aries energy here. So definitely enjoy. I almost feel like I'm completely open and receptive to receive this week. And that's how you should also. It's a week of being receptive. It's not about what you need to put out. This is just opening your heart, opening yourself to anything and everything this week. So you guys have an amazing week. Don't forget to like and subscribe before you go. It definitely helps me as I'm also putting out into the world my greatest passion and joy. And that is also helping you all. Thanks again. I hope you guys had a good Mother's Day as well, and I will see you in the next reading.